This is Seasons of Discontent with your hosts Rick Snyder and Matt Combs on the Hogstein Network.
Welcome to Seasons of Discontent, Season 7, Episode 5, brought to you by Rick Snyder's Washington on YouTube. And I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
And we're back discussing all things Washington sports and life as part of the mighty Hogstein Network on audio and here on YouTube for video. Well, Matt, certainly a crazy 24 hours and another 24 to come. But we'll start off with the big news right now with running back Brian Robinson has been shot twice in an attempted carjacking in D.C. on Sunday. And luckily, the reports are that he wasn't seriously injured, shot in the lower leg and also in his basically his rear end. So nothing life-threatening like that. He had surgery. He posted a picture on Instagram basically saying things would be okay. One of his teammates said they thought he was being released today, which, wow, okay. But the reports are still coming in. He got shot by a couple of teenagers. They were trying to grab his car. He has a nice car, obviously. And the reports say that he struggled with them and grabbed the gun from one. I guess maybe the other one had a gun too and shot him. They ran off down the street, jumped in a car. The cops, there's cameras everywhere in Washington. So the camera saw it. The car was dumped in PG County outside Maryland. So they haven't caught him yet, but I'm sure they're going to. If they got that, unless that car was stolen, maybe, who knows? But they'll catch whoever this is. And Robinson was, just fortunate. But what happens now? They don't know yet because they got to figure out what's happening here. They don't have too much experience with players coming back from gunshot wounds,
right?
Like this, and luckily it's not a threatening one. But there's a chance they could put him on the PUP list and miss the first 4 games. I wouldn't be unreasonable. I don't know that he even plays this year. We'll just have to see what's going on. The muscle, the pain, all these things. But as much as I'm glad this didn't turn into another Sean Taylor situation, it's hard to imagine this poor guy suddenly his rookie season's in jeopardy. Just off a random act of violence.
Yeah, and that was the first thing that crossed my mind when I hear another Redskins / Washington football team / Commanders player has been shot. Obviously, you think back to Sean Taylor. A lot of the reports coming out of the Sean Taylor thing to start was he was going to be okay. And then a few short hours later, he was dead. So, it's very scary. It's very, eerie. Obviously, you never want anybody to get shot. And, looking at this kid from a life perspective, this is a very young kid that just came out of college, has his whole career ahead of him, has his whole life ahead of him, and it could have been cut short, had this person been able to aim. Secondly, you look at it from a football standpoint, this is your, this kid was probably going to be your number 1 running back. He was going to hopefully have a very bright career. And, luckily this did not end his potential to earn money in this life. So, by all accounts, happy that he's okay. Look, take your time, kid. There's no need to rush back. I mean, they probably end up putting him on PUP. I mean, we have cut down day tomorrow. We're recording this on Monday. Tuesday is cut down day at 4. Some cuts have already started, but you could put him on PUP. You can put him on IR for the short term, long term, however you need to do it. And they have, substitutes to fill in for him this season. Obviously, he's going to be the focal point next year, but you can carry Jared Patterson, who played well against the Ravens, and Williams. So, from a football standpoint, this team is good. Heal up and then get back on the field, 100%.
Of course, the craziest things on social media was one, people asking, what was this, a hit? You got shot in the leg? That seems fishy. Come on, dude. Anybody thinks that somebody's trying
those are tasteless jokes. No, Antonio Gibson did not want his teammate shot. Okay, let's just end all that stupid noise right now.
And the other people going, oh, man, I just took him for my fantasy team. I had a brother-in-law shot to death on a road violence situation. So I can tell you it's not as easy for this guy just to come back off his injuries, man. This is a serious, mental trauma too.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was one of the reports was, Dan and Tanya, Ron, Jason Wright, Martin Mayhew, I believe, was there. And then they also had the team doctor and the team psychiatrist at his bedside yesterday after everything had happened. So, that's the mental part of it is, yeah, your body can physically heal up and recover from this, but the mental part is the part that I think he's going to struggle with. I mean, this is a kid that was just trying to show his buddy around his new city. They were going to get chili from Ben's Chili Bowl by all accounts. I mean, you're standing next to your car and next thing you know, you got 2 bullets in you. I mean, it's crazy. And that's something that he is going to have to work out mentally. I do believe he's mentally fit and mentally strong enough to handle this, but you never know, and like you talked about, I knew your brother-in-law. I was there when he died and he was killed. That is something that has stuck with me for 30 plus years of my life. I mean, you don't forget things like that. So, and that's something that Brian's going to have to overcome. And hopefully he has a strong family and strong people surrounding him. I know all of his teammates huddled around him. And, I think it was John Allen that said he was being released, but, he has a football family, but then he also has his family. And I think, whatever they're calling the plane now, I think I read somewhere that Dan was sending Redskins 1 down to pick up his family. So, speedy recoveries, Brian.
Yeah, it's a lot of things we can say about Dan Snyder, but when somebody's injured or sick or something, that dude is there for them.
Yeah.
So if that's his only redeeming value, at least it's a good one, because he's always there. I wasn't surprised at all. I was a little surprised. I didn't know if he's in town, but I wasn't surprised he was there. And they have team psychologists and all this stuff. That'll be the harder charge for him once you get through this adrenaline of everything. Give it another week, but he'll be back at the facility when he can, even if he can't play. He'll be around his buddies, and that's the best thing for him. So, wishing the best for him because he has a real bright career.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so they asked Ron basically, all right, you've had this situation dropped on you, it's just another one. And by the way, you got to cut a whole bunch of guys tomorrow. You have to get down to 53, but really with David Bada, he has an international exemption. They could be 54 kind of thing. The international guys are exempt. So that means you got to cut 26 guys. I think practice squads are 16 now, so really about 10 or so are going away. I know they're going to scan the waiver wire for linebacker, and they'll scan it for anybody if they see a value there. But Carson Strong got released, and I thought, yeah, but Carson, you already got a rookie quarterback, so you can't go that way again. But that was somebody's going to pick him up.
The big name so far has been the first round pick Davis from the Lions, linebacker. I can't remember his first name. So hopefully they do play the waiver wire game. I know they have a low priority. So yeah, I mean, they'll scan, but obviously Ron likes to keep his guys. And look, Rick, if you were Ron Rivera, would you want to resign ever since he signed with this franchise? It's just been nothing. He's been having to deal with so much crap between the cancer and the cheerleader scandal and, all this stuff behind the scenes with Bruce and Dan. And now you're running your third round running back that you just picked this year goes out for a bowl of food and gets shot. I mean, look, we all praised Gibbs for what happened with Sean and the way that he handled Sean. I mean, and nothing against Gibbs, but golly, I can't think of anything more that Ron could go through now.
Yeah, it has been amazing, the amount of stuff that it's just this franchise, it's just this franchise. It's never quiet for long. I can't. So I'm trying to think. The last guy who was shot was Andre Bloch, I think, and that was I don't know, 10 years ago or so.
Yeah, when he was a Wizard.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think who. Well, of course, Sean Taylor. Mm-hmm. That's been 15 years or so. So, yeah, it's been. Even I was thinking of Len Bias yesterday about these things. And Len's younger brother was murdered shot by a guy in a parking lot.
Yep.
Woman. So I remember all that. I mean, it flashes to you. There's no doubt. Another death today was Ernie Zampese, who was basically considered the godfather of offense in the NFL. And he spent his last year of about a 40-year career in Washington helping Joe Gibbs. He was like the offensive guru, you could say. I know when Norv Turner came in 04, is that or 03? 03. He would often talk about Ernie Zampese because they'd worked together with the Rams. He ran a lot of Zampese's offense. Zampese was the real brains behind the Air Coryell offense that everybody always talked about in the 80s. And the coaching tree that came out of that. And even Coryell, who was just nominated to the Hall of Fame, I think will be in next year now. He even said Ernie Zampese was the mastermind of that offense.
Yeah.
He is also the father of the Commanders quarterback coach, Ken Zampese. So they had that to deal with today, too, on this. And Ernie was 86, and rest in peace. I met him when he was here with Gibbs. I mean, he was kind of like a legendary figure in a way behind the scenes for who he was. So has another thing going on in the building.
It's crazy the amount of iconic figures that have ended their careers in Washington. We talked about a couple shows with, Lombardi. Lombardi's last year coaching was with the Washington Redskins. Zampese's last year coaching was with the Washington Redskins. It's, it's funny that we get so caught up in the recent and stuff, but this franchise has had some big names walk these halls. And, I saw a lot of people yesterday amongst the idiots talking about, my fantasy team and Antonio Gibson or Brian or Jared Patterson put a hit on him. One of the things I did see was this franchise has been cursed, and I hate to say it, but man, I start to tend to agree with these guys sometimes, man. It's just, there is a black cloud that hangs over this team, and we all know who it is. It's Dan. Dan is the black cloud that brings all this negativity, but he ain't going anywhere.
But, they always said that the Indians cursed them back in 91, starting with the name. And, of course, the team won the Super Bowl, so we were like, but they always said the Indian curse was there. Okay, so they changed the name. So, I don't believe in curses, but I agree that sometimes you just wonder the karma is so thick with this kind of team that amazes me.
Hey, on a positive thing yesterday, I did see a video where a kid simulated Madden 23 for the next 10 years, and I believe the Commanders won 3 Super Bowls.
Damn, that's funny.
Hey, one of the MVP quarterbacks for the Commanders was Trey Lance.
Okay, well,
look, it's Madden, but hey, at this point, I'll grasp on the Madden.
Okay, well, they have the weekend off this coming weekend because the NFL likes to take a break now. Reset. You got 864 players being cut in the next 24 hours, and I forget. I don't do the math, but most of them will find a job, or they can be in the USFL under the DC Defenders or whatever they're going to be called.
XFL, yeah.
Yeah, whoever it is. There's so many of them out there. So, all right, I guess we can let class out a little early today.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Some people like the bell.
There you go.
Not people of this show, but my other show, my daily one's on YouTube, Rick Snyder's Washington. Come listen for 2 minutes, catch up on what's going on morning and evenings. And then we have this show and the live chat every Monday, 8 to 9. So,
yeah, special guest made it this past Monday.
Oh, yeah. I know who it was. Well, it was also Andy Reid was by. Andy Reid always comes by once in a while. It's amazing.
And on that note, we're out of here.
I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Seasons of Discontent on the Hogstye Network.